Namaste and welcome back to today's episode of Mahabharata Matters. In the previous episode, we saw that Bhīṣma had given discourses to Yudhishthira on various topics from his Sharashaya, bed of arrows. He had also laid down the disciplines of Sanatana Dharma that are to be followed for many years to come as well. The auspicious Uttarayana Punyakalam had arrived. The sun had turned his chariot to travel northwards. The whole Kuru royalty and the commoners of the kingdom had arrived at Bhishma's side. They had got many Mangala Dravyas, auspicious substances, in honor of the grand old Kuru hero. Many sages like Vyasa, Vyasa's father Parashara, Narada and other divine rishis had arrived by his side at that time as well. When Bhishma opened his eyes and saw the ocean of people that had come to bid him adieu, he was overcome with joy and love for everyone. He said the time was ripe for him to leave the mortal world. He said to Dhritarashtra, "You know your duties as a king. Do not grieve for your sons and treat the sons of Pandu as your own sons. They are righteous and have immense respect for you as well. Live happily for the rest of your life." He said to Yudhishthira, "You know everything that an able king needs to know. You are righteous and you will be a great king. You have my blessings with you." He then rested his gaze upon the radiant smile of Shri Krishna. Instantly a divine placidity came over Bhishma's face. He asked for puja samagri, materials of worship, and offered his oblations and reverence to Krishna. He then spoke to Krishna. He said, "Krishna, you are the supreme Brahman. You are the Lord of this universe. I seek your permission to leave this mortal world. But before that, I desire to see your Vishvarupam, the universal form. Please grant me this wish." Krishna stood with his beautiful smile by Bhishma's feet. From his bed of arrows, Bhishma fixed his gaze on the charming face of Krishna. He started chanting 1,000 names in the glory of Krishna in the form of verses. Shri Krishna is none other than Bhagavan Vishnu himself. These chants describe the many aspects of the Supreme Brahman as Vishnu. Bhishma had glorified and exalted Vishnu for eternity with these verses. Pleased by these chants, Krishna revealed his Vishwarupam in all his glory to Bhishma. It is these 1,000 names of Vishnu that are chanted even today as Viṣṇusahasranāma. Bhishma's face was radiant than ever now. Then he said, "I have seen your Vishwarupam. My death is to my willing, Krishna. I now wish to leave, but not without your permission. Please grant me the permission to shed this mortal coil," said Bhishma. Krishna said to Bhishma, "Devavrata, I grant you permission. You are like Markandeya who had death in his control. Death is standing in waiting. You can summon it at your behest. You will never be born in this mortal world again. You were born because of a curse from Vasishtha along with 7 other Vasus. Now you will go back to heaven and join the rest of the Vasus." There was a celestial glow in Bhishma's face now. He closed his eyes, basking in the visual of the Vishwarupa he had just seen. With very little effort, Bhishma willed himself to die. Bhishma had left the body and rendered it lifeless. Everyone around saw a divine glow rising up towards the heavens and disappearing into the clouds. The Kuru royalty had arranged for his last rites to be performed with all due respect. Vidura wrapped the body in a white cloth. As per his wish, Bhishma was placed on the pyre along with Arjuna's arrows that he was shot with on the battlefield. The pyre was set using fragrant sandalwood. Dhritarashtra gave Mukhagni as his son. Next day, the asthis and ashes were collected and they all went towards river Ganga. They were to offer oblations and perform the last rites and release his ashes into the river. Devavrata's mother Ganga came in her personified form and sought profusely for the death of her son. She said, "I thought he would become the greatest king anyone had ever seen on this earth. He had learned everything from the greatest of the teachers possible, and today he is dead." Krishna comforted her and said, "Do not grieve, mother. You know he was a Vasu who was cursed. Today his curse has been released. He was no ordinary mortal who was born to rule a kingdom. He was divine and now he has gone back to his divinity. We should be celebrating his life as well as his return to his celestial body. Ganga calmed down and regained her composure. She disappeared from her personified form and the river started flowing calmly again. There was a weird combination of sorrow and bliss among the people. Sorrow that Bhishma had passed away. Bliss because he had left his mortal coils and reached his heavenly abode. They all returned to Hastinapura. With this, the Anushasana Parva comes to an end and the Ashwamedha Parva begins. So, what are our takeaways from this story? The entire humanity should be eternally grateful to Bhishma for composing the Viṣṇusahasranāma for the benefit of the world. It is said that chanting or listening to Viṣṇusahasranāma calms down our parasympathetic nervous system. It is proven to relax the mind and body and relieve all kinds of stress, strain, afflictions and pain. Women have been said to have easy labor and delivery upon listening to Viṣṇusahasranāma. In fact, in the olden days, if someone was sick, along with giving medications, doctors would prescribe them to chant Viṣṇusahasranāma. We cannot say enough about the benefits and glories of the Viṣṇusahasranāma that the great Bhishma has bestowed upon us. Another thing we can learn here is that symbolically at a spiritual level, both pain and pleasure are like the arrows. Even pleasures too, because they also belong to the material world and come to an end. So even pleasures eventually are nothing but pain in disguise. So the arrows represent both pains and pleasures. They pierce through us and cause affliction. Bhishma stands for free will. As Bhishma himself explained, free will is the soil in which the seeds of our destiny sprout. So the free will also drops when it surrenders completely to Lord Krishna. With these thoughts, we come to the end of today's episode. Remember, in this series we are discussing matters of Mahabharata because even today, Mahabharata matters. Hari Om!